Hello there and welcome along. Today's rose review sees us travelling back in time once more to 1995 and a rose launched and introduced by David Austin Sr. Now I hope when you see me in front of some of these roses you'll get a gist to the roses that really captivate my attention. Been after this rose for quite some time. This one is Noble Antony. Named after the character in Shakespeare's plays and obviously very, very famous Mark Antony, once obviously attached to Cleopatra. This particular rose is absolutely astonishingly beautiful. And for those of you that want a rose to cut and bring into the house, Noble Antony is going to be a really good rose for you to grow and look out for if it's not part of your collection already. I say launched and introduced in 1995. This is one of the few varieties that's going to stand up and hold its head proud on really nice, useful stems. You can see these blooms facing towards the sky. Very, very noble in its form as well. Really astonishingly pretty. The bloom is large and cabbage-like, with the petals rolling ever so slightly back to the stem, giving it a really beautiful three-dimensional textured look. This particular rose is going to be one of those that you need to plant in full sun. It does like a nice, bright, sunny position in the garden to induce flowering. It's going to start flowering for you somewhere in mid-June and flower all the way through into the very back end of August and maybe possibly into September. I say the flowers are held high on nice, long, straight stems, sometimes individually or sometimes in pairs like this one here. Never in huge bracts or huge clusters, but 2 or 3 blooms to a stem, sometimes individually, but mostly 2 or 3 to a stem like this one here. Really very, very pretty as well. The foliage is very broad and dark green, very highly textured in its form, quite crinkly. There is some barbing to the back of the leaf stem and to the back, so please do be careful if you're picking this particular rose and bringing it into the house. You'll need to remove a lot of the foliage. There's also quite a lot of thorns. Although they are very, very tiny, they're needle sharp, and in fact when I actually picked this one for today's review it did actually bite me quite badly. They're very, very thin. I'm not entirely sure I'm going to be able to find one for you. I think I might have taken it off in utter disgust, but they are very, very small indeed. Needle sharp in their presence, but they go all the way up to the actual back of the flower. Flowers are opened on these, to say, upright stems facing up to the sky. If you decide to cut and bring Noble Antony into the house, it's going to last quite well in a vase, lasting about 5 or 6 days once cut. It's a really quite nice one to cut and bring into the house, and a really lovely colour, a deep magenta pink, which fades with age in its 5th and 6th day in the garden to this lovely silvery grey hue. Now we've spoken about this quite often with this particular colour blushing as the flower ages on roses like Princess Anne and the new variety launched just last year, Penelope Lively, but the same coloration coming through Noble Antony as that as well. So the blooms, I say, open from quite deep cabbage-like flowers to this really nice ruffled and textured flower. Lovely slight yellowing to the very, very back of the petals, and if you part the petals right in the center you'll see a lovely yellow eye in the very, very center as well. Really very attractive. This one's really captivated my attention. I'm really looking forward to cutting this one and bringing it into the house and displaying it in a vase. Standing around 3.5 feet tall and around 3 to 3.5 feet wide, has a very similar growth pattern and habit to, for instance, as Darcy Bustle, which again has these very strong upright and woody stems as well for bearing flowers. Fragrance wise, this one is really quite pleasant. I'm going to be rating this one as a 4 out of 10 stars. It's old rose in its fragrance. It has a certain sweetness and crispness to it, but still remains old rose but zesty. So there's obviously the same normal notes there of lemon, lime and grapefruit in the back, but a really, really nice fragrance. All round a really, really nice packaged rose, bringing together a really lovely formation. Leaf colour is fantastic, colour of the flower is fantastic. I love these large flowers, I especially love the way those petals peel back towards the stem to give you that lovely multi-headed look, almost like a species rose that we were talking about just a couple of days ago, where those petals go right back, giving you that lovely globe formation formation to the actual flower itself. This is Noble Antony from David Austin Roses, launched in 1995. I hope you've enjoyed today's review. Don't forget to leave me a comment, like, follow and share. I'll see you all again very soon. Take care now. Bye bye.